Hello, Eastside Youth. This is our Wednesday kind of midweek encouragement. I think I'm going to stop calling it the Wednesday, just do the midweek because, as you know, there's been a couple times where I've been tardy in getting those out. We're really excited to be opening back up. I'm in the back of the youth room right now. You can see the clock that has not worked in who knows how long there. But as I look around, stuff is ready for Sunday. We've got chairs that are split far enough apart. We've got our masks in, hand sanitizer ready. So we're ready for you guys. And what I'll say to that is thinking about just kind of what we've been going over in Numbers and thinking about, for some reason, when I graduated, the gentleman who spoke at our graduation, he was our science teacher, but he was also a leader in our church, at the youth group that I was going to at the time. And he shared something, and it's one of the things that he shared that has stuck with me here now 8 years later. And it's this idea, he said, and I think it's an Al Capone, strange enough. I think it's an Al Capone quote, but he said something like, you need three things to succeed: a good smile, a gun, and a plan. And if you have to give one up, he says, get rid of the smile. And if you have to give two up, get rid of the gun, but never, ever abandon the plan. And for a while, I wasn't sure how I felt about that because, as you know, I've shared my story about my end of youth group experience, and it was not what I had planned. And I felt like I was kind of forced to abandon the plan. And then moving into college and other stuff, not everything goes the way we want. And for a long time I thought, well, that, never abandon the plan, that's wishful thinking. Like, eventually we're going to have to give up on some of these plans. But what I have found is the plan can change. However, there is an overarching thing that is like, what is the driving force of what we're doing? And when we stick to that, we're not abandoning the plan. And when we get that right, and in more modern language, it's this knowing your why. Like, why are you doing the thing that you're doing? And I get now that is what my teacher was speaking about when he said, like, guys, make a plan, stick to it. Find why you want to do what you want to do. And I share that for us as this midweek thing, as we're getting ready to get back together on Sunday, is we have a plan. We have a plan to get back together. We have a plan to begin to meet again in person. And that is going to look, like I've shared, a lot different. And one of the things that I've been thinking about is this notion of, is getting back together important enough to do it, even though there's so many things in place for there to be a difference and a barrier in a lot of the stuff. And so that is where we're forced to answer the question, what is the plan with getting back? Like, what is the point? What is the why of why we're doing it? And I think in short, it is that real life personal connection. That is kind of like one of the foundation building blocks of what church life is built on. We've been doing church digitally, and it has been a good placeholder, but I think you'd be hard-pressed to find someone, actually, I know there are people, but you'd be hard-pressed to find a majority of Christians who are like, no, this has been the best 2 months, and let's just keep doing this indefinitely. That is not the language around it. The language is, no, the plan is to continue to meet in some way, someday, with different things in place, but the plan is to be meeting in person as a church. And so we're actually, today, I'll just share a little bit of inside baseball. I don't watch baseball, so that doesn't make any sense. But we're going to have a staff meeting here in half hour. It's the first staff meeting in quite a while. And Pastor Ben has shared that we're going to be talking about a lot of the reopening and getting stuff back on board. So the youth group is taking those steps, and the church as a whole is also looking at moving forward, and that's good. What I would share with you guys is I remind you, like, you know, when you walk in, there's a box of masks sitting by the door, and I'm going to encourage each of you to take one. And there's going to be a moment where you're going to go, nah, that's fine. And I'm not going to pressure you beyond that. What I would say is, don't abandon the plan. If the goal in meeting in person is to thumb our nose at what people are telling us we should be doing right now, then we are not meeting in person for the right reason. Rather, if we are meeting in person because we think it is valuable to the Christian life, then we can begin to relook at some of the things around it. And then, as we've been talking about in Numbers, one of the things to bring this back into what we're doing in Numbers is like this idea of what happens when we play loosey-goosey with the plan. We see that big time. We talked about a few weeks ago where the people of God has stationed them right on the line to go into the land and take it. That was the plan from day one. That was the plan ever since he brought them out of slavery from Egypt. And he brought them out across the Red Sea. The plan was to bring them to the land. And the people lost sight of the plan. And then once they received the consequence, or once it kind of fell apart because they left the plan behind, then they wanted to go back to it. They said, wait, actually, God, that plan was pretty good. Let's go back. And then it was too late. So what I encourage you guys is, like, this is both for our situation here as a youth group, but also in your personal life. Because there's going to be times where it's going to feel like this is not what I had planned. Or this is not, I had a plan, and, you know, I thought this was the plan that God had for right now, but it seems to be getting messed up. And I want you guys in those moments to be thinking, how is this in agreement with what the ultimate plan is for what you're doing? I've sent a few emails to y'all seniors out there this week, and in that, I asked, like, what are you guys planning on doing after you graduate? And you pretty much have already graduated. And you know, and I've heard back from you guys, and I'm excited. But also be okay with when that plan begins to shift, finding, okay, what is my big plan, and how can I make this new change fit into what this big plan is? And only then, like, having to do that myself is realizing what that means to not, like, the importance of having a plan. And there's a difference between having a plan and having, like, this rigid, like, if steps 1 through 5 don't all line up, then I will not do step 6. Rather saying, this is where I would like to be, this is what I would like to be doing, this is what we hope is the goal with this. And being okay when things are, being flexible with when things are not going the way we'd want. And thinking back to the Israelites, you know, and God says, like, I'm going to bring you into the land. They had to walk, like, and that probably was not in a lot of their thinking. And they're thinking it's going to be easy, rather than God is going to bring us into a promise. And so just keeping in mind the overarching picture of what's going on. You know, I've also shared, I think, in the past, but high school, though it is a big step, it's not the last step. Or even middle school, for all of y'all who are in middle school and you're looking at high school coming up. There is something beyond where you are at, and that's good. And the important part is to continue trying to keep that focus on what does God have for me, what is my plan, and what is God's plan with me right now. And if you keep that as the centering factor, man, you can grab and go. You can hang all sorts of stuff off of that, because as we are going to see Sunday, God can work in wild ways, in wild circumstances, And a lot of times his plan, it is in agreement with what we think is the plan, and sometimes it's not, and that's good. And it's trusting that the plan is good when God has it for us. So that's what I give to you guys. Stick to the plan. We will see you Sunday. I'm excited. We're ready to go. So love you guys. Stay healthy, stay hopeful, and we'll see you in a few days. Bye.